Hello. Here's what I'm thinking about for us. Messengers. You got to really sit back and ask yourself, what is the actual thing I want to be doing? Hopefully that question is planted in God. And so the spirit that you're hearing from is one that you can and should depend upon, listen to, surrender to, and submit to. You have still got to give your yes, though. Your yes is the most powerful thing that you have to give. The most powerful thing that you have to give. And you're giving it on repeat. We're all giving it on repeat. Day in and day out, you're scrolling, you're looking for what is going to hook me or wake me or shake me, or I don't even know what you're looking for. It could be like protein cheesecake recipes. Please can everybody honestly stop posting their flourless bread that has an entirely egg base though? Would that be all right? Tell me if you're there, if you're on a replay. Well, you can tell me at the end. I won't be there. You can comment if you have a comment. You can just mosey on your way and find your protein cheesecake recipes if you want to. It's really up to you. But you're giving your yes all day long. We're each just giving our yes all day long, are we not? You sit there, you have a business you want to build, you have a ministry perhaps that you've already been called into or that you are being called into. You know you're a messenger, you have a voice, you've got something that you're meant to impart into the world. And what happens is we so easily get distracted into every possible freaking thing that it could or should be. And even those of us, which is me, who've been doing this for a minute or three, coming up to 20 years, online business and online something, because it wasn't even business. And is it even business? The labels have got to go. Here's the thing, right? Coaching labels, ministry labels, God forbid, influencer labels. Well, you are influential. Should be. Female entrepreneur labels. I don't know what other labels or lenses you're looking through. I don't know. But the most important thing you have to give each day is your yes. And can I just tell you something that somebody needs to hear right now? And I am definitely that somebody, but I'm not the only somebody. God did not create you to come here so that you could check in with the state of Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or wherever it is that you're looking through as a lens, inadvertently or not, but it is a choice. You were not created so that on a daily basis you could check in with the state of the world on Instagram or with the state of Instagram or wherever, and then make sure you bippity bop conform to it. And we are all prey to this. Pray as in P-R-E-Y. We should definitely pray about it, P-R-A-Y. We all fall prey to this. We all fall prey to getting sidetracked by the glossy, shiny, proper, professional, pretty people. I mean, we are pretty. It is what it is. But you being proper and professional, whatever that means, firstly, I wouldn't even bother with those words. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is you being the full expression of what you're here to be. It's not meant to be first run through a filter of every shiny, glossy, apparently perfect person who is either low-key triggering you on the internet or who you've got some kind of hook situation going on with, whereby some part of you has given a yes to the idea that if only you looked like her, then it would probably be working. If only you had photos like that, if only you had a perfect background like that, if only you were funny like that, if only like maybe you look at me, right, and I'm pretty good at just showing up and riffing, and Lord willing, and he is willing because he always has a word to share, something will always come through me that is for somebody. I'm a born messenger. I can just roll straight out of bed and start to speak something that I didn't even know that I knew, honestly. And so sometimes I'll do it with a bit more gloss and glam on. Pretty rare these days. I might do it with a bit more of a vibey background. Currently, I'm just laptop lifing in my bed right now. And it's 3:44 p.m. in the afternoon, if you're wondering. We got a baby kid in here. How pretty is my bedding? I love this bed set. I've been doing some writing, been working on my upcoming masterclass, dropping in on that, which I'm doing a masterclass God gave me next week on Shattering Counterfeit Identity. This is pay what you want. By the way, if you comment or DM me just the word shatter, you'll get a link for that. It's a funny trigger word, shatter. So then you can get the link to the Counterfeit Identity Shattered Masterclass. It's going to happen next week. Pay what you want. It is such a do not miss. It is such a do not miss, this one. And if you can't attend the actual live time, then you can get the replay for that. I don't know how long it's going to go for. We're going to drop all the way in. I believe that what God is going to do there is going to be huge, huge. What he's going to break off and also reveal. So I've been sitting here and I've been just working on that. Sitting in my bed with my burrito bowl, fitness meal burrito bowl, and the kitten, and thinking about a few things. And one of the things I was thinking about, and where this little live came from, is I was sitting here and I had a little break. I had a big morning, plenty of things going on. I had like 3 different tradesmen coming to the house. That took a few hours. And then I was doing some deep dive writing. And then, you know, when your brain is just going, like it's just going. And back in the day, I used to deal with that problem with ways that are pretty self-destructive, if we're honest, and definitely not super, you know, life supporting in the end. And that's how I would kind of bring myself down out of the craziness. So I don't do that anymore. So I do good things like go for a walk or pray. But one of the things that I often do when my brain is just going like 17,000 miles an hour is I just check out. I just exit stage left and I have a nap, is what I mean. I'll just lay down and put myself to sleep like a little baby and cross my hands across the chest, put some worship music on down super low if I want, and I'll just have a sleep just to kind of reset the... Thank you. All right, it came back. I have a water break. So that's why I was in bed, but I brought the laptop with me before the nap, preemptively. And then I had to go downstairs and get food. I also have this little box of chocolates with me, just in case, which my friend gave me last week. Oh my gosh, why have I not done a post about that? My friend who went missing 29 years ago and then turned up about 6 months ago, and we finally had our reunion because I had to get on a plane, or I got to get on a plane. I didn't have to get on a plane. That was huge. Anyway, she gave me a gift bag of things. I mean, the gift was the fact that you have a friend who's been missing for 29 years and that you have spent many years searching for in the past and eventually stopped searching. And that's a whole story. I might do a post about it. I'm not telling the whole story, I didn't mean. Anyway, what we're up to. So I got up from my nap and I was in my little reset, and I knew I was going to drop in and write a little bit about the Counterfeit Identity, the Shattering Counterfeit Identity workshop, and a few other things that I've got for you. But I was just really pausing myself, you know, like shut up, shush, who, don't do that thing. And this is a word, okay? You have to hear this. Don't do that thing of just keeping on. Oh, let me helter-skelter run into the next marketing message or email or creative idea or, you know, just business and online whatnots, admin, all of it. Have you paused? Have you pulled up? Have you anchored in to who and what you're really here to be lately? I've coached so many high-flying entrepreneurs for so many years now, some of whom were really and are really just dropped in that place of actual God-led alignment and flow and doing what they're meant to be doing. But many of the times what's happening is people are seeking that they eventually want to get to the place where they're just surrendered and relaxed into the being of who they're meant to be thing. But what's actually going on on a day-to-day basis is they keep running. So it's this just contradiction, right? It's this continual push and pull between I just want to get to the bit where I'm truly doing what I'm here to do in the world. And it's back and forth with, but meanwhile, somehow another day passed by where I'm unwittingly comparing myself with everybody online and thinking about what I could or should do in order to catch up, keep up, and make up. And I'm just running a race that I was already running the day before without really thinking about, is this where my time and energy and focus should go? So this is the message today in my rambly roundabout way, how it always comes out. Is your time and energy and focus going where it should go right now? I don't know how much time you've got, and it could change, probably changes day to day like most of us. But the thing is that in order to let out the thing that's actually inside of you, it doesn't really take a tremendous amount of time, but it does take intention and focus. When you get your butt in the chair and you say yes to simply putting pen to paper, so to speak, and letting out what's inside of you, and it's a full surrendered yes, the actual imparting of that, like the download, the release, the unleashing, the impartation is usually pretty quick. Am I right? It's usually pretty quick. Think about it. When you actually drop in, when you get to that dropped in place, it's like bam. I mean, I don't know about you. I can write an entire sales offer in like minutes. I think the fastest I've ever written is 7 minutes. And there's others that take hours to pull through. It's fine. But things can happen quickly. The dropped in thing is something that it's just either there or it's not there. And when it's there, when you reach in and you access that and you let it come through, and you come out of your own mind and thinking and trying to figure out of things, and you just say yes to the thing that is absolutely unmistakably what it is that God has put inside of you, it comes through quickly. So logically speaking, and I'm talking supernatural logic, but it's actually also just straight up plain everyday basic mathematics, bit of quantum maths maybe, but we've got some basic maths here as well. Logically speaking, it doesn't actually take a tremendous amount of time for the thing that you're really here to do to be created into this world, to come from where it once was not, Hebrews 11:3, into where it now is. Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the evidence of things not seen, the substance of things not yet known. Faith by definition has a substance. It has matter to it. It's material. Tapping on nails always reminds me of skincare products that apparently you're not allowed to show online unless you tap your nails on them. I don't even have nails on. My real ones have grown pretty long though. I've got some stick-on ones that have been sitting on my bench for about 6 weeks that I've been meaning to try. Fancy ones. Fancy stick-on ones. I don't even know which part of your handle is your full name. But Prachimera says, and I think I do know, or I should know, but I don't know. That's the most powerful thing I learned from you a few years ago. Thank you. It's Prachi, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing, right? It doesn't take much time. It's like, okay, Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Very old book. If you've not read that book, somebody's rolling over in their grave right now. It's future me. But I read that book for the first time about 23 years ago. I was about 22 at the time. And it really changed my life at the time. I was just very excited about just taking control of my, schedule and week, and being really goal and vision outcome orientated. And I already was. I mean, I rolled out of the womb that way. But it gave me some really fresh insight at the time. But if you know Stephen Covey, if you know the book, the late Stephen Covey, the late great, then you know the concept of sharpening the saw. And it's like we spend all this time running around trying to get the outcome that we want or that we think we're here for. When really, if you just sat down and sharpened the freaking saw for a few minutes, you could then take one swing of the axe and it's going to cut the thing down. That's what dropping in is about. When I say dropping into what? You know, previously over the years I would have said your soul, your inner knowing, intuition. Sure, intuition is important. It's something that we each have housed in our spirit that we need to learn how to rightly use. Discernment, existing knowledge maybe. But I'm also talking about dropping into the spirit realm, and specifically the Spirit of God, because I certainly wouldn't want to be dropping in and hearing from, downloading from, or being in engagement or agreement with any other spirit. I have certainly done that many times over the years, and I highly do not recommend it. No, don't recommend it at all. 0 star. So dropping in. For me, dropping in these days, actually, even when I came up to have my nap earlier, it was like that. I said to my son, I'm going to go upstairs and talk to God. By which I meant lie down, I'm going to have a nap, and I'm going to ease into that nap talking to Jesus, and then I'm going to hear whatever I need to hear as I sleep and as I wake up, which is a great way to just commune with the Lord, one of many great ways. So I want to drop in on what he has for me, and that might be something that he's already planted in me and that I already have a level of consciousness about, but it might also be something I never even heard of before. And what a joyous, like, surprise box of chocolates type of a situation it is, right? Because when you take the time to drop in and to just meditate on the Lord for even a moment, you could be out in public, you could be in the car, you could be taking a shower, you could be having a nap, you can be cooking, you can be, often for me, it's like a brief pause moment, you know, where I just finish something and then my mind is like 75,000 directions I could go right now, and I'll start just flicking around emails, windows, messages, whatnot. Next minute, an hour goes by. So it's a good practice to have a discipline to just pause and drop in that moment. Like, wait, okay, Lord, what is the next one thing that I'm meant to do? And the thing is that when you develop that practice of dropping in and you actually expect a clear answer, you might get a little nudge or a reminder, or it's something that is kind of coming through your own intellect and whatnot, that's like, oh yeah, okay, that's what I actually need to do. That's, that's something that does need to get done. Let me just go and do that. And it's pretty much in the practical. But when you have that habit, you're going to start to on the regular receive whatever God has for you that he wants to bring through by his Spirit. And that place is a place where anything can happen. And when you're in regular communion with God in that way, then guess what you're going to start to expect and receive? The things that are for you that nobody else is going to come up with because he gave them to you. The ideas, the creative flow, the download, the imagination, the thing that doesn't make any kind of sense, apparently, if you're looking through a lens of what the internet says, but it makes exact sense to the people for whom it's for. That stuff comes out quickly when it comes out. The bit that takes time is really the bit of the way you live your life in and around that, because you can't just be, numbing out your brain, mind, body, and soul, and then expecting to actually get an aligned spiritual download from the Spirit of the Lord, the Spirit of Jesus. It could happen, but really it's a way that you live your life where what you're doing is you're recognizing that you're a citizen of heaven and you happen to be placed here right now, and there's a continual flow that's going on there, which means there's a continual current that is always moving, living water, amen? And so you just kind of expect, or you just expect, and you know that when it's time to go, when it's time to write a thing, say a thing, release a thing, impart a thing, that it's really not on you. It requires your yes, and it's the way you submit and you live your life and who you give lordship to, which hopefully you've repented and renounced for giving lordship to yourself. But for some of you, and I've been there, so I'm not saying it from a place of it wasn't me or hasn't been me, where your lordship is to every freaking shiny glossy chick on the internet that apparently you think you should be keeping up with, and then you're wondering why your brand or ministry or business or whatever it is that you have is not flowing and going and causing just a knowing inside of you that you're where you're meant to be. You have got to put the blinders on, sister. You have got to put the blinders on. You've got to put the blinders on and just delete. Or maybe I should put more effort into how my stuff looks, or that it's perfectly curated in some kind of a way, or that it's systemized in some kind of a way. You've got to know who you are, and the only place you're going to find that is in looking to Jesus. There's no other place where you're going to find it. And the more that you look to him and you keep your eyes on him and you don't keep jumping into these half-witted conversations in your own mind as to whether or not you should actually be some other person, then the more that what will happen is you'll just start to come out with the stuff that is you. And you'll just start to care less and less that your stuff doesn't look like everybody else's. Do you know what I mean? Or that it doesn't seem to be fitting the formula. Praise the Lord if your stuff is not fitting some kind of formula on the internet. So I don't know what it is that pulls you off track. I know some of the stuff that pulls me off track, but it's also not about trying to quantify that. It's about, just look to the place where you're on track. And then simply commit to the container and pour in whatever comes out. Start the live stream, begin writing the blog, begin writing the book, commit to the weekly recording of the podcast. Please don't turn it into a whole thing where you think you have to have, a dildo-shaped microphone in front of your face. Otherwise, you're not somehow legitimate as a podcaster. Do you realize you can literally just strip the audio off something like this? Or you can do a voice note into the thing on your phone and upload it. It's not going to be as clear as, the most studio recorded podcast out there, but it really 95%. I don't know. I can't speak for Androids. I know they've got good photos. But as far as the recording and upload quality on iPhones and Macs and stuff, it's fine. Man, it's fine, right? What about videos, live streams, YouTube, anything visual? Oh, well, I got to get my home studio set up. For the love of all things good and holy. Why? Have one if you want. At some point, let it happen. Absolutely. That's cool. But do you need that? Do you have something to share right now today? Have you thought about what would happen if you just started to share it today from the place that it comes out? Oh, but which platform should it be on? Maybe I need to set up some fancy system so that it's across every platform. Worst thing you can do is try and be present on every different platform. Best thing you can do right now is which is the platform you personally dominantly use and just kind of enjoy the functionality and vibe of in general, even though you probably need to spend less time on it. Just do that one. Do that one. And then take the thing that you did there and then send it out elsewhere. I'll take this, I can email it out, and then I can chuck it on my YouTube as well. you know, and I can put a story on Facebook, I guess. But as soon as I try and complicate it and be everywhere, even with my 20 years of experience online, it's a waste of time. It stops you actually consistently showing up for the thing. Think about, do you follow any accounts where the person is just kind of random and all over the place, but they're actually just rocking it at what they're doing and it's working? Why can't you do that? You know? So don't just go for the ones where you're like, oh my gosh, if all my stuff looked that perfect and polished and was that systematic and strategic and whatever, then it would be working. If that genuinely excites your socks off because it's an aligned fit for you, then you could give it some attention. But for a lot of people, that's not what's happening. For a lot of my born leaders, messengers, you are literally killing yourself softly by not letting the message that's inside of you out because you're worrying about how it should come out. Do you know that there is a very big difference between being a kind of like highly curated strategist or perfectly poised content creator and being a born messenger who is meant to download and impart a thing from the spirit realm, from the supernatural, from God? There's a big difference. There absolutely can be crossover. There's no reason that things can't cross over. But for a lot of people, you're just trying to fit yourself into whichever polished, shiny box is currently making you feel like, well, less than, but where you currently are thinking that if you did fit into that, then you'd finally be there. And that's what's happening. And as a result of that, you're not letting out the thing that's inside of you. And guess what would happen if you just started letting it out? However it would come out today, with whatever vibe is going on around you today, the right people would come. And guess what would happen if you started to consistently do it? You would actually drop more into what you're even here to talk about. The ideas and imaginations from the Lord would start to flow properly because you unblocked the, congested, constipated buildup that was going on there. And guess what else would probably happen? Along the way, you'd probably get some cool, background or vibey setup or different place that you could make things look more curated. But reality check, I have that stuff and I'm sitting in bed with my messy pile of books next to me and in a very awkwardly splayed position in a half-made bed right now. And that's where I'm talking from today because I really couldn't be bothered getting up, going downstairs, setting up in the, proper background and everything. And I had a whole warehouse for that was fitted out to the tune of about $200,000 with an entire 2-story high, incredible graffiti mural wall that was just the most coolest thing ever, and just the whole warehouse was so cool, and it was the best, most creative visual bricks and mortar thing I ever created, and I sold that last year. And it didn't make any difference to my income or my impact. It was just a cool thing that I had. But everything that I had come through me prior to that on the internet, and that I continue to during that time that I continue to now, was the same. Didn't make any difference having like the most epic warehouse space. Honestly, I think it's like the most epic warehouse that anyone's ever seen or known of. So it's just if you want it. None of that stuff realistically makes a difference to your results. And that applies to so much stuff online. So we're going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed whatever you got to hear and receive from this. Okay, here's a couple of things you need to know about. Number one, this is the final call for Open the Floodgates, which is a 10-week private one-on-one access activation journey with me, Holy Spirit led, and it is pennies on the dollar of what I've ever done for private. It's just what God gave me. If you comment the word floodgates, you're going to get that link you need to do it ASAP. I will be locking the page tonight, my time. It's Friday afternoon, my time right now. So whatever time before I go to bed, whenever that is. It's often kind of late, but it's not long left. It's final day. I even added an extended payment plan. And it's a sisterhood as well. So we're doing a weekly Zoom meeting together, but you and I are all in one-on-one for this. This is the fact that the floodgates are already open, but by faith, the lever is pulled in order for it to come through. This is a do not miss. I never know if I'm ever going to do something again when I do it live. So there's no point me saying, there's another round. That's not how I operate. If you know me, you know that. I just always flow with what's going on at the moment. So it's extraordinarily unlikely that it will ever happen again because I'll be flowing into the next thing. So we just began this week. Your 10 weeks would start when you start, though, if you come in late. This is incredible. This is let's finally lift our eyes off the idea that it's this building and pushing and creating thing, and let's go into the place where we flow with the Spirit of the Lord in the supernatural. So the word for that is floodgates. Floodgates. But Angel, I see your comment there. The comments on the live stream will disappear when I post it as a reel, so I'll just DM that to you because I'll remember that. But if you're coming along, you're watching this on a reel, comment floodgates and it will go to your DMs. Final call. Then we have the Shattering Counterfeit Identity Masterclass, which is happening early next week. That is pretty much what it sounds like. Go check the page out. This one is pay what you want. I know, thank you Jesus. So you can check that page out by commenting the word shatter, or you can DM me those words as well and it will give you the link, or you can go to katrinaruthministries.com/shattering counterfeit identity. The title obviously says what it is. I'll read you the little tagline because I like it. Sometimes I forget the words that come out and then I go read my own stuff again. And I'm like, man, I'm so excited for this. A new live masterclass with Katrina Ruth to call forth right being, free your soul from captivity by the power of Jesus, and walk out right destiny now. You got to go read that page, and there is some stuff even on that page that I believe is going to shift and activate you. What God has shown me for this workshop, this masterclass, which is on Monday my time, so Sunday afternoon or evening for many of you, and of course you'll get replay if you can't attend live. What God has shown me is huge as far as what is going to be broken off, but huge as far as restoration and revelation for you as well. So if you've been kind of like in my space, in some cases for a long time, and you go like, what is she doing now? You know, things have changed. If you know me, you know that. Things have changed going back like 2.5 years now, but people come back all the time like, hang on, what just happened? Or maybe you're brand new to my space, and or this is just speaking to you and you know that you have essentially walled yourself in with who you've made yourself into being or who you think you need to be. These are just some of the reasons why this would be for you. I actually believe everybody in the entire online industry needs this workshop. That is for real. So that one is the Shattering Counterfeit Identity Masterclass. Comment the word shatter for that or DM it to me. The word floodgates for Open the Floodgates. And have a beautiful rest of the day or evening. Do not forget, life is now. Press play.